Yeah, about 60 plus days out from a game, Georgia Tech, and you have two, three good quarterbacks back there. I'm not going to talk about a quarterback battle, but I'll say this: talk about how they've progressed and come along, and maybe some things you're looking forward to working on with them this coming season.
Yeah, I've been proud of all the jumps that the guys have made. Um, I'll start with you because I think that's where it starts. But Ju's standpoint of just understanding the offense and now trying to take it to a point where he understands the defense. And I think, when Shador
Mm.
was in here a couple days ago working with him and talking to him, it's more so now I think Ju understands who his people are and he understands my mindset on what I want to get accomplished on the play. I think the reason why Ju was such a high rated quarterback because he knows how to do things to not lose the game. I think that's important as well for a quarterback position. He doesn't, in the games that he got to play last year, he wasn't a turnover machine. He wasn't, doing things that would put you in a bad situation, right? Like he was giving
Hmm.
you a chance to go win the game in those games that he played in. He gave the team a chance to win. And so just now him looking past just, okay, coach called this, my guy got this, he's there. Now seeing the whole picture of what the defense is doing, that is going to be.
Memphis 10 in this tight, man. All the way here.
Memphis 10,
Memphis 10 in this
Dirty
tight, man.
Dime.
You already know what's up. Yeah, Uncle Neely in the house.
Let's go pregame show from New Orleans, all the way from New Orleans. Hey.
The defense is doing, that is going to be critical in his next phase of his development of where he's at because now he understands, what we're trying to do on offense, and what players he has around him to do it with. So now he has to look out past that because I always say, like, for a great quarterback, if you want to be a guy who throws for 3,500 yards, 4,000 yards, leads a team to victories and championships, you got to make the playbook your playbook. Like you've got to make the plays come alive. You've got to say, Coach, we could do this way this time. They're playing this way, Coach. So this is why I did this. It can't
Hmm.
be so much. Coach said, throw it to this guy. Robotic. It has to be some feel. It has to be some sauce to it. You got to put your own spin on it. Have your little aura and swag to it to really make it go. And so I think that's where he's at right now in his development piece. For Isaac, I think Isaac understands the big play element of our offense. I think that's why everybody was so excited about him in the spring because he does understand capturing the big play and the big moment and how to get the ball to the right guy in that big and to create that big play. He understands what an alert means on the paper when you get this coverage, okay, boom, I can take it and I'll have this alert. I think he
Hmm.
has to learn how to just hit the base hit a little bit more. He's understanding just like taking the layup, taking the easy play, not risking the ball. Not everything is going to be the big play. As a quarterback, you just have to be okay with chipping it down there until you can hit the cup sometimes. You can't always, you know, pull your driver out. Sometimes you got to be able to use the 7 and the 9 and you know what I mean? Like he's got to learn how to, just control it a little bit more. And then Keneal, I mean, he's still green bean. He's still a young buck, but that boy can drive fast. Like he can do a lot of things. He understands what we're trying to do on offense. He can play fast. For him, it'll just be slowing down, and that's any guy who just came in December. But he has the ability to turn the broken play into a big play with his legs. He can also hit the big play with the throw. It's just him learning the structure of how to play within the game of a college game, right? It's not the same as a high school game. He's not going to be able to throw a D lineman off of him when a D lineman's free, and maybe
Yeah.
once or twice he'll be able to do that, but that's not realistic on every play. Like, he's going to have to learn how to play within the confines of what we're trying to do on offense.
Nice. And what were some of the things you mentioned? Shadur being there with you guys in the meeting room, and you had the chance to talk to him on the field. What were some of the things that you can share with us that Shadur helped them on?
I just loved his intelligence, his ability to look at a play and then to tell the guys, like, he never even went through the play, but because of his football awareness and his FBI of knowing the game, he was able to talk to them about, like, this is why coach has an alert here. This is why the read is this way. This is why you should think about the one-on-one. Okay, based off of what they're doing on the defense, but then, like, look at the receiver. How is the leverage of the corner playing them? How is, what's the situation in the game? Just really trying to give them I say it's opening up your third eye, right? You're not going to be a National Football League quarterback, right? And I got to give props to two from the standpoint of, like, how many guys that are, disrespected in the way he was, drafted where he was, get put to be fourth on the depth chart, fifth on the depth chart, no reps, and then go in there and win games.
Yeah.
And not on, it wasn't like they were 6-0, 7-0, and they just put him in there to go hand off the ball and manage the game. I mean, he's going out there making plays, making reads, and making it come alive.
Right.
So, that's where I say, like, a quarterback learning to open up your third eye, right, and see things before they happen, make things happen, anticipation, playing that way. That's what he was trying to teach the guys. And then, just to see his work habits, right? For the guys to see a guy in there running on his own, lifting on his own, bringing a receiver with him to throw to him, like, hey, run this route for me, do this, boom. And still doing all the techniques and working like there's a coach right beside him. I mean, he didn't have a coach with him. I mean, he was working like there was a coach standing right over top of him, right? And that's a testament to Coach Prime, his coaches in the past that he had, that taught him to be that way, right? To be a cerebral thinker, to be a guy who's not, skipping a step in his process and his development. So it was great to have him. I mean, it's always good to have guys that are actively doing it, right? I always say, like, I'm an old has-been and a cheerleader now. I can tell you what it was like years ago, but, I can't tell you exactly how it is going right now from a field standpoint of being actually out there on the grass doing it. I mean, he did it. He felt that pressure, and he rose to the occasion. And so that's good for these guys to understand and see what it looks like.
Well, first of all, Coach, when you're beating 20-year-olds in ladder drills, you're not a has-been. You still got something. So let me tell you that. I've seen the agility and the footwork even after the knee surgery. You still got something.
I just tell you, it's a spiritual thing, man. Just where I come from. I was telling my son, they playing a baseball game, and they were playing an undefeated team, right? And my son's a pitcher, and he's like, "Dad, it's gonna be a rough game." Like, I'm like, "Boy, you ain't even played a game yet."
Yeah.
Like, they gotta see you first. Like, where I'm from, like, everybody got to see me. I don't care what your rating was, who your daddy is, like, none of that. Like, you got to see me. You got to get out on this field and see me. So I was telling the guys one day, they was talking a little bit. I'm like, I'll come see you on the ladder. Let's go. My mindset is like, I'm gonna go for broke. I don't care if I fail. At least I tried. At least I was in the fight. At least I was there. You know what I'm saying?
I try to tell Chico that with my neighborhood fight record, Coach, I'm 20-20, and he want to laugh at my 20 losses. I say, see, Chico, the difference between me and you, I don't fight just when I can win. I fight based on principle. And that meant taking some ass whooping sometimes, because it just happened.
That's right.
Let me ask you this, man.
That was because you were talking so goddamn.
Well, I ain't say I didn't start all 40 of them.
See, that's
like I never said that. I mean, I started all of them. Coach, I got to frame this right, man, because they tell you comparison is the thief of joy, and I don't by any means want to compare errors or coaches or styles of players. But when I look back at Colorado's, say, 2 or 3 year history, there were many times that we relied on a superhero to make a superhero play to get us through a situation. And that's not to say that we don't have talent now and superheroes now, But when I watch your offense operate, when I'm in your meeting rooms and watch practice or whatnot, it looks like your system really just relies on people to just do their job. You don't have to be a damn hero. Like, we don't have to have Batman, Robin, Superman out there. We have to have a guy that's just competent and knows what he's doing. Am I seeing that right, or am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, and it's no disrespect to anybody else, but you got to understand, like, I didn't start off with superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And that's not disrespect to the players that I coached in the past, or anybody who they coached, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's just levels to what you do, right? And the level that I started at was teaching kids how to put their thigh pads in their girdle. Coach, what's a girdle? Coach, what's an
Right.
ear pad? Like,
Yeah.
so the level that I started at was like, I got to find a way to find an offense that doesn't tell little Johnny and them that they're not good enough, that says we can still go win a game,
Mhm.
regardless if that team we look across of is bigger, better than us, got Division I players, and we don't.
Mhm.
We got to find a way to go win. And so that's the system that I created where, like, the plays will naturally come to you, right? Like, it'll naturally happen for you because it's set up in a way, it's structured in a way that we're going to make sure we're able to move the ball down the field and give our kids a chance. I tell them every single game that I've coached in college football, I've been blown out twice as a coordinator in college football. Every single other game that I was in, we had a chance to go win the game in the fourth quarter.
Mm.
And like, I can't make the catch for you, I can't make the throw for you, but I can put you in a position for that to happen for you, right? And
There you go.
and call the right scheme and structure, right? I tell people all the time, you say, people say scheme doesn't matter, but if I'm working with tools and this tool can't do what another tool can do for me, this tool unlocked the door for me, this tool didn't. That tool's important, right? Like, that the scheme does matter, right? Regardless, you can't. A
Absolutely.
hammer doesn't always work.
Coach,
Sometimes you need a
I
scaffold.
grew up in a house where a butter knife was our screwdriver, so I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
so, like, eventually that butter knife ran out. You couldn't use that butter knife no more. You was like, man, I got to go save up $10 and go get this real screw, like,
Yeah.
right? And then the screwdriver didn't work no more. I need this power drill, right? Like,
Mhm.
you see what I'm saying? And so that's where people always try to minimize scheme and say it's all players. I think that if that was the case, right, whoever spent the most money on NIL, right, would win every year, would
Right.
win the championship. I was at a school who got the most money. They didn't win the championship last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not necessarily, like, just because you have the best players, you still need the certain scheme to give them the opportunity to utilize their talent and extract all the talent out of them. You have to have the right people around them where you can make all their talent come alive, right?
Yeah.
When you have those superhero players, there's a lot of teams that hoard a lot of talent, right? I've been places where there's 6, 7 NFL receivers, but we only use one or two,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What we doing?
right? And one or two are dead tired out there and they can't run, and you got a draft pick sitting on the bench chilling, like, coach, I can play. I was a 5-star, I
Coach,
was a 4-star,
Let me
right?
ask you
So
this, since you said that. Not to cut you off, but well, go ahead. Let me let you finish. Then I ask you this. Sorry about that. I thought you had
no,
another thing.
I'm done. I mean,
But
I'm off of my
Harris
soapbox.
C. Harris, managing partner of the Cochran firm Jackson, is one of the premier litigators in the United States. Dedicated to furthering the values of Johnny Cochran, Harris believes attorneys have a duty to restore voice to the silenced and give justice to the wronged.
The reason that you are a member of the Cochran firm is that you share my commitment to excellence to our clients.
Harris's success is credited to a set of core values shared by his team of attorneys, professionals, and staff.
You've proven to me that you care and you want to do the best job for all of our clients.
I'm here to make sure that they have a voice.
Named one of the top 10 trucking lawyers with a $150 million settlement, Terrence Harris continues to prove that he is committed to obtaining the best possible outcome for his clients.